I need to start this with my belief statement. I believe that all students can learn. I believe that children living in poverty can achieve. And I believe a strong public school enhances the community it serves. I actually teach in this district. It's going to say this district. When I started with this district in 1996, my principal encouraged me to not start teaching core curriculum for the first month or longer. During that time, I was to build community with the students. We were to build relationships with each other. Ours was to be a learning community. We cared about the whole child. It was important to know the child as an individual. We used to have community circles where we would compliment each other. Students learned to cooperate and share knowledge with each other. Learning was the emphasis. We used to integrate our curriculum. Reading and writing would be tied together with content. Students would use their skills to create months-long projects, incorporating even art into their presentations. We followed the teachings of Susan Kowalik with her highly effective teaching model. We practiced her methods, keeping in mind that learning is an inseparable partnership between brain and body. Emotion is the gatekeeper to learning and performance, and movement enhances learning. We gave our students being their experiences so they could create meaning from the content we share. That was then. This year, I gave 3 standardized tests to my students within the first month of school. I need to know exactly where they are on the track to passing a test in April. How they perform has set their path for this year. They are coded as red, yellow, or green already, with their names glued to that color and hanging up so we can discuss them at our data team meetings. Next, they will be tested to find the exact type of question they can't answer, and I need to teach them how to answer those questions. Our day is so closely regulated that we know the minutes students need to be seated at their desks. Breaks have been discouraged, if not allowed eliminated. So much for movement enhances learning and being their experiences. A teacher told me how once a student was sharing with her about a doctor visit. The teacher said the whole time the student was sharing, she was thinking, I should start groups, I should be doing my groups. A substitute joked with me in the workroom that she was doing an art project, even though she knew art was no longer allowed. Last year, a teacher I know was running reading groups by having students choose their own books and then meet and discuss those books with him independently. Some of those students did not pass the first trial of the OAKS test, so those students had to do test prep work instead of their reading groups. After several weeks of this, the students started to groan and said they now hated reading. I had a student for the 2 past years because I looked with my students to develop the needed learning community who could barely read, but he could do math. At every chance I had, I would tell him about how great his math brain was. He began to believe it too. He would tell people he was a mathematician, which he was. But at the end of the year, I had to put his name in the did not meet category for math, even though he made leaps and bounds in growth of math skills and confidence. It hurts to think that the federal government sees him as a failure and my teaching skills as a failure also. This is what No Child Left Behind has done to our schools. In their own learning. Schools are now winners or losers. Schools are punished for not having every child a benchmark when they should be celebrated for the gains and successes of all students. The child has indeed been left behind. He or she has become a number, and sadly the teacher has been left behind. No more are we trusted professionals who develop reciprocity with our students, but we are seen as slackers who need accountability, or else we would not fulfill our moral obligations. I would ask you, Mr. Duncan, to remove the business model from education and remember remember that we are working with children, not interchangeable parts.